In New Mexico, you can go from completely legal to completely illegal in seconds without ever touching the gun. Here's what you need to know. Chapter 1: New Mexico Carry Baseline. New Mexico is not permitless concealed carry, but it is open carry friendly, and confusing those two is how people get jammed up. Open carry is generally legal in New Mexico for people who can lawfully possess a firearm, no permit required. Concealed carry is different. If the loaded handgun is concealed on your body, New Mexico requires a concealed handgun license unless you fall into a specific exception. Those main exceptions are your own property or residence, a private vehicle carried for lawful protection. Outside those lanes, concealed carry without a license is illegal. Now, age. In New Mexico, turning 18 does not automatically give you full handgun carry rights. State law uses 19 as a threshold in certain handgun possession statutes. If you're under 19, handgun possession is heavily restricted with narrow exceptions. At 19 and 20, you may lawfully possess a handgun in some circumstances, but that does not mean you can conceal carry on your body. The clean lane is a concealed handgun license through DPS. That lane is generally 21 and up with mandatory training and qualification. One more important distinction: New Mexico law treats handguns and long guns differently. Most of the carry rules people argue about apply to handguns, not rifles or shotguns. Long guns don't live in the same statutory carry lane, and context and location matter a lot more with them. So far, does this feel like a free state or trap? Drop one word below, free or trap. Chapter 2: Purchasing. Buying from a gun store or FFL, federal age rules apply. 18 to buy long guns, 21 to buy handguns from a dealer. When you buy from a dealer, the background check runs through the federal system called NICS, NICS, the National Instant Criminal Background Check System, run by the FBI. That answer comes back in one of three ways: proceed, delay, or deny. Even if NICS says proceed, New Mexico has a 7-day waiting period law on the books. The statute includes exemptions, including valid CHL holders and certain immediate family transfers. As of this video's release, the law is in effect unless a court order changes enforcement, so always confirm current status. New Mexico requires background checks for most private sales and transfers. Private transfers generally must go through a licensed dealer, so the same 7-day waiting period rules apply there as well. There are exemptions, mainly certain family transfers and narrow defined categories, but outside of those, private sales are not a free-for-all. If you buy or transfer a firearm for someone else, in a way the law treats you as the real buyer, that's the classic straw purchase problem, and it's prosecuted as a felony. Buying it legally is only half the battle. The real mistake happens in the parking lot. Chapter 3: Driving with a gun in New Mexico. Here's the trap. In New Mexico, the car protects you. The moment you step out, the rules can change. Under New Mexico law, a person may carry a loaded handgun inside a private vehicle for lawful protection, even without a concealed handgun license. People think car legal automatically means carry legal. It doesn't. That vehicle exception only exists while you're in the vehicle. The second you step out, like a gas station, parking lot, sidewalk, that exception disappears. Now let's talk long guns. New Mexico does not have a blanket rule that says long guns must always be unloaded in a vehicle. But long guns don't live in the same clean carry lane as handguns. Depending on location or behavior, a loaded rifle in a vehicle can create legal problems fast. Treating a rifle like a constitutional carry handgun is how people get jammed up. Now, if you get pulled over, New Mexico is not a duty to inform state. If you are carrying concealed under a CHL, you must have the license in your possession and display it upon demand by a peace officer. If you do not have the CHL, the vehicle exceptions still applies, as long as the firearm stays in the vehicle and you don't handle it. But none of this matters if you're not legally allowed to possess at all. Chapter 4: Prohibited people and red flag laws. If the law says you're prohibited, possession itself is the crime, and a lot of people are prohibited without realizing it. New Mexico's prohibited person rule goes beyond violent felons. At a high level, they include people who have certain felony convictions, are under specific protection or court orders, or have been convicted of certain domestic violent related offenses, including some misdemeanors. People assume, well, that was years ago. It wasn't violent. It was dismissed. I thought my rights came back automatically. Some prohibitions are permanent. Some are time-based. Some depend on court language people never actually read. It's not all over if you are prohibited. Some people, rights can be restored. New Mexico also has a red flag law officially called an Extreme Risk Firearm Protection Order, or ERPO. Under this system, law enforcement can ask a court to temporarily restrict someone's access to firearms. If an ERPO is issued, the person can be ordered by a court to surrender firearms, and the order can last up to 1 year with court hearings and due process steps involved. Supporters say ERPOs are meant to prevent harm when someone is believed to pose an immediate risk. Critics say this could be abused and restrict rights based on accusations before a full hearing. Whether you support red flag laws or oppose them, the legal reality is the same. Once an ERPO is active, possession becomes illegal. Ignoring or misunderstanding an ERPO is how people elevate a civil court order into a criminal charge. Now, do you think red flag laws protect people or create a backdoor confiscation system? Pick a side below. Chapter 5: Prohibited Places and No Gun Signs. New Mexico is not carry anywhere. Start with the obvious hard zones. Kindergarten through 12 schools and school buses are off limits under New Mexico law. There are narrow exceptions, but this is not a freestyle area. In real life, people do curbside pickup and drop off. The safe lane is simple. It stays in a vehicle and you don't step out armed. University premises in New Mexico are generally off limits for handgun carry, openly or concealed. The main exception is in your vehicle if you're over 19. Courthouses and court facilities are hard no-carry zones. A New Mexico CHL does not work here unless a judge specifically authorizes it. Public buses are off limits in New Mexico, so do not assume a CHL covers public transit. Tribal land operate under tribal law. New Mexico carry rules may not apply there. During voting, firearms are prohibited within 100 feet of a polling place, but there are statutory exceptions, including for CHL holders. Bars and liquor establishments primarily engaged in alcohol sales for on-premises consumption are off limits. Many restaurants are legal for CHL holders, but you can't drink and carry. So what about private property? My property. Private property owners can give notice that firearms aren't allowed, either by posting a sign or telling you directly. If you enter or remain after that notice, it can become criminal trespass. Now that you know where New Mexico flips from legal to illegal, the next question is simple. How do you carry every day without it becoming a hassle?
Hey, if you made it this far, you probably care about doing things right. If you've tried carrying in gym shorts or sweats, it just never feels quite right. Waistband moves, holster shifts, it's fine, but it's not dialed. That is why we built Relaxed Fit Tactical. Our shorts lock onto an inner belt, so your holster clips to a hidden belt, not just fabric. Same setup, same draw, just more comfortable. So if you carry every day, this just makes sense. Links below.